Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the Ben 10 Power Tank from Ben 10, or the Ben 10 Reboot. So I did the Heat Blast one first, and this is Diamondhead's special vehicle. Again, I don't know if it's in the show. I might be getting a lot of comments in the future about how it is in the show, but like I said, I'm a little bit behind on non-major stuff. But regardless, it's kind of a neat thing to have. I mentioned in the Heat Blast video that this is the way you do figures that come with vehicles in a cost-effective way. You take your base mold of your standard line, and then you put something new on it to make it different. And what you don't do is what Power Rangers does and just make a completely unpainted figure and include it in there. Still don't know how they're getting away with it, but I had to rant about that in both videos just because this is a clear example. So, let's take a look at the figure first, speaking of, which is basically your same figure you got in the standard line, like the default figure line, I guess I call it. But it has a little something different to it, and that's basically just this helmet, which it makes him look like a construction knight. I kind of like it a little bit more than Heat Blast, but I think that's just because Diamondhead's my favorite alien and I'm biased. But you basically get more or less the same figure as the original one. You get some little articulation. He's a little bit more limited than Heat Blast in the arm range, but still, it's nice, and you can move his head, which is always nice in vehicle figures like that. Like, I always mention that just being able to do that will give it so much more personality. But it's a nice figure, and I enjoy it. So good job on that in making the figure actually a worthwhile portion of purchasing a vehicle toy. Now, the tank itself also is pretty cool. I think the design of it's neat, and the camera does not want to focus on it. There we go. But the design of it's neat. It's pretty basic. Like, when you get right down to it, it's just more or less like 90% one color, which is the sort of Petrosapien color it's got going on here. And these bits here, I don't know if you can tell, not this part, I don't know why I pointed at that. Don't listen to me, I'm not a professional, are stickers, which there's much more, and by much more I mean like 3 times the amount of Heat Blast, and they're not hard to put on at all, but it still bugs me because, like I mentioned in Heat Blast review, I think it's an older thing. Like, unless you're doing a model kit, it feels like something that older toys in the 80s and 90s had to deal with, that I just feel like kids shouldn't have to be dealing with now. But it adds a little bit more to the tank, and it definitely is very basic, but at the same time, it doesn't bother me as much just because in universe it makes sense in my head that he would like construct this diamond tank, or like take a tank and construct diamond around it, and it makes sense that it's all the one color, but that's just me. But setting aside the very basic nature of it, I think it's a pretty cool design. Like I said, it's got that angular look there, which makes it look like he might have just constructed it around there. You got this missile firing action here. Boom, it made kind of a ping noise, I don't know if you heard that, but you got that. And this little drill that pops onto the back that can move around a little bit, but like the arm doesn't have articulation, and I feel like it should. Like, it's not a huge deal, but it just seems weird. Like, this can move around, so you can be like, oh, regular boring drill, Diamondhead drill! So that's exactly how that goes. But I don't know, it just bothers me that you don't have articulation. Like, just one little hinge right here would have been nice. But yeah, I mean, that's what it does. It has those things. It can roll. Again, best part of the toy. But you can also move this around, and you can move it around all the way, which is nice, because this, like, kind of clears for you. So that's neat. I dig it. It's nothing hugely special, but I think kids will really get a kick out of it. I think it's a unique, cool-looking vehicle, and it's just kind of a neat little thing. If I had to recommend one or the other between this and Heat Blast, I'd recommend this. Again, I'm biased because I love Diamondhead, but I think this one's just a little more fun, just a little bit more to do with it. I still kind of wish both vehicles had just a little something more, but for what they are, they're pretty, like, decent, fun little vehicles. Anyway, that's about it. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Dawson Rider, signing out.